Hey, thanks for joining the masterclass. By the way, to explain who's going to be teaching you, I'm Dane, founder of Rockstar Integrator. I work in online marketing for almost a decade at this point, both with coaches, consultants, e-commerce companies. So I really look forward to walking you through this. And with that being said, let's jump to my computer and get to it.
And welcome to the training. If you're watching this, we're going to learn about UTM links. UTM links are pretty much tracking links that you can add to your URL. So in this handout I have right here, which you have probably added to your own Google account, I have a couple of tabs: the UTM Builder, links for organic, links for email campaigns, and links for email automation. So let's start right here. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of our lead mag. Here's the example I'm going to use. Notice how this populates everything. Pretty much do not touch. As soon as we start typing and selecting stuff in these columns, they're going to populate here and your UTM is going to be ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down pretty much where our traffic is coming from. Source is where. So say for example, email. Notice how it pops up over here. Medium, link click. Again, notice how it's popping up right here. And then campaign name. Let's do Spring Sale 2025. And now we have it popped up right here. What that means is with this email, I can say, okay, this email campaign, Spring Sale 2025, drove this many email link clicks. So that means when I send an email with this link, I'll be able to see how many people actually click to the web page. Now, one thing that's really useful is seeing this for social. So say for example, Instagram bio link, and I'm going to use the same campaign name because this is going to be part of, say, a hypothetical campaign. What that tells me is when I go looking in Google Analytics, which I'll show you how to set up, is when it comes to people who clicked on this link from the Instagram bio, I can see how many people clicked through on it. Now, unlike email, where I can have this be multiple different campaign names because I can do a unique link per email, with social placements, you do get a little bit more limited. So I typically recommend, say for example, Instagram, just one for Instagram bio link for your opt-in or offer. Same goes with Facebook, TikTok. I have these pre-programmed in here, so you can actually go ahead and add more in. For example, if we were doing another Instagram post, go ahead and copy that down there, and I wanted to do story, I would just have it pre-populated just like that. So this is how the UTM Builder works. It allows us to take a normal link, add some information to it, and make it into a tracked link. When it comes to email, this is fine because that is something that we're not going to see. But for Instagram bio, this will look pretty terrible. So that's where using Bitly comes in. However, before we start getting creative with putting in different types of Bitly links and stuff, let's go ahead and do a little organization. So right here we have our email campaign. I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to go here to the email campaign tab. When you're copying links, make sure you actually use the copy link function so it all goes over. Great. Now what we're going to do is we can simply give this to whoever is going to be sending out the email campaign. One thing I recommend is make sure the campaign name you have right here is also the same campaign name you have right here in your email service provider. So say for example, if we are doing, I'll whip up an example real quick here, copy, email, link click. Let's say there's going to be 5 emails for this campaign. So let's say this is email 1. Then we want to have email 2, 3 here. See, this is the great thing about this spreadsheet is that you can quickly create all the UTM links that you may need for a promotion. Copy. And these should populate. Let me go ahead and get those one by one. And I'm going to grab these campaign names. And let's just say 3 the 1, the 2025, and have the dates go down from here. So this is pretty important because what we can see is in your email service provider, you would name the campaign this. That way when you go and look into your, when you go to send an email, you know that that's the campaign name and this is the correlating link. When you go into Google Analytics, which I'll show in a couple minutes, we'll be able to see how many people actually landed on the page that we're wanting to send people to from just this one link. As you can tell, that is super important to be able to tell which one of these emails actually drove the most amount of traffic. Was it email 1, 2, or was it email 3? Now, when it comes to social, I have this special sheet right here to keep it all sorted together. So again, going with our idea that this is for the Spring Sale 2025, we right here have a link for Instagram bio. So we're going to copy this over and we're just going to put this here right now. If you notice, I have something right here called short link. What I do is I like to use either the software Pretty Links or you can use Bitly and you can actually make it a short link. Let me show you. So what you want to do is once you create a Bitly account, go here to create a Bitly link and we are going to take this big, long, kind of icky looking URL because we don't want this in our Instagram bio. We're going to go ahead and copy and paste it right here and give it a custom back half. So I'm going to do get automated now. And also make sure to spell it. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and click get it now. And there's our link. So what you would do for this promotion, you would just simply go ahead and say, hey, social media manager, here are your tracking links for this spring 2025 sale. This is what we're going to be doing. Here is your link for Instagram bio. And make sure that they use the short link. Now on the flip side, with Instagram stories, you can just go ahead and use the big ugly link, because no one's going to actually see the link in the story. If you're on an Instagram story and there's a way to click on a link, you would just go ahead and click on the story and it takes you right there. As you can see on this spreadsheet, I have set it up so that you easily organize what links go where, and you can also leave notes so anyone on your team or yourself can go ahead and make sure everything is all in the right spot. Now the last section I want to talk on is email automations. While it may be very similar to email campaigns, which are broadcasts, email automations, I do structure the UTM a little bit different. So I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to go down here, copy you, and I'm just putting space there so it's a little bit easier to see. What I actually like to do is I like to mail, then I like to go here to edit, and I will actually say mail 1. Now it is kind of odd that I am using something completely different compared to here, because what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and select that email 1, and then I'm actually going to put the name of the automation for campaign. So this might be, so say for example you have a welcome series. People opt in from the footer of your website, and in the first email it actually pushes people to this opt-in. What we want to see in the report in Google Analytics is, hey, they came from email, but which email did they come from the flow? So that means when we look at the UTM right here, we can see that the sources email, the medium, the how is email 1, and the campaign is welcome series flow. So we actually know this is an automation. Just like with campaigns, we're going to go ahead, put this here. We know this is welcome flow. Campaign name, I know it seems a little redundant, but campaign name is going to be email 1 promo, because that is the medium right here. So I know that those words don't line up, but it does keep it a lot more in line if you are looking into the welcome series flow. See, campaign name is email 1, and the way how they got to the page is from email 1. That's all important information you would add to the notes section. So say if there was a couple other emails, let's just say emails 2 and email 3, you would just simply make sure to go ahead and make all those UTM links, just like you would go ahead and edit this, add an email 1, 2, and 3, and that will be it. So now that we know how to build the UTM links, let's talk about where we're going to see the data. Now this is the report we're going to build in Google Analytics 4. As you can see, it uses the same get automated page, and we can see where the source are coming from. All this work that we just put in here, setting up all these links, we can go ahead and actually see who hit the page. Now these are the columns we're going to be setting up. We're going to be doing views, bounce rate, average session duration, views per session, event count, and event rate. So let me show you how to go ahead and build this. First, go ahead and go to, I'm going to just click discard for right now. So what you want to do in Google Analytics, you want to go here to report, you want to go down to library, you want to go down here to create new report, and then you want to do create detailed report. I recommend clicking here, traffic acquisition, and this is where we're going to start doing a little bit of culling. So over here on dimensions, we are going to just remove all these except for session source and media, just like that, and we're going to click apply. Over here under filter, we're going to type in page title. We're going to type in page path and screen class. Here you want to do contains, and you want to do the back half of the base URL. So what that means in English is rockstarintegrator.com, as right here, is your domain. This is the back half, get automated. What we don't want to do is have the rest of this stuff be here, because it'll actually filter the report too much. But we do want to say contains, so all those links do land up here. Click apply. And now we're going to clean up this section. So metrics, I am going to keep, usually what I like to do is events per sessions, we can keep that. Let's go ahead and move this, event count, let's see, gotta remove these. And in another video, I'm going to be going a bit more in detail on some of these metrics I'm keeping and removing. Once we get this all saved, I will explain what all this means. Click apply. As you can tell, we're actually starting to get really close. We're starting to see the number of views coming from the Instagram bio links, story, email link clicks, all that good stuff. Now, another thing you can also do is if you want to filter this by a campaign, you would go here, you would go to session campaign, and you would add in that session campaign that we're doing. Again, this is if you have different promotions, but that way we know for a fact that the people who are coming from the Instagram bio, since Instagram bio is still pretty vague, we know for a fact that they're coming from the link that says Spring Promo 2025, just as we did earlier. So what you want to do now is click Save. There we go. Going to click Save. Now, when we click back, the question is, well, where did our report go? So what we need to do now is we need to go to right above where it says Create New Collection. I always click blank. I'm going to call this Get Automated. Got here, Create New Topic. Let's just call this Spring Sale 2025, so we're all in alignment. And then we're just simply going to go here, and we're going to find that report we just made. Drag and drop, and then we click Save. However, there's still one more step we have to do. So we can see our report right there is not published. We go here to publish. And as you can see on the report side over here, we actually have it ready to go. So as you can tell, with this training, we have taken one little link, we've added a whole bunch of tracking links to it, and then we're able to create a report in Google Analytics 4 to see how many people are hitting the page. Now let's talk about the stuff we got here. Views is pretty straightforward. Number of page views on the website. I believe it's only a couple of seconds, so this is very much a raw number. Bounce rate. Now a bounce rate means the percentage of people who hit the page and then did not go anywhere else on your website. They hit the page and they bounce. You want as low a number as possible. If you have a 70% bounce rate, that is not great. If you have a 30% bounce rate, that's great. Now, moving on from bounce rate, we have sessions and view per session. Now, when it comes to sessions are a period of time a user interacts with your website, and it can be up to 30 minutes. Now, as you can tell, there's less sessions than views. And as you can see, it pretty much follows that same logic. The reason why is a view is pretty much just a raw, the page is hit, someone has gone to the website. But when it comes to the actual, like how long was someone on there, that means this person at least was on the page, they let it load, they hung out for a bit before either, moving forward through the website or leaving the website. So when it comes to views per session, we're at 1.22 because not every one of these views turned into someone actually sticking on the website. Now, over here is where we start getting very, very complicated. Now, over here is where stuff gets a little bit more crazy. Events, event count, session key, event rate. What Google Analytics allows you to do is it allows you to track actions on your page. For example, here's the page we've been working on. It is possible with Google Analytics and a little bit of Google Tag Manager to track, see who actually submitted this form, and out of the people who have landed on the page, who also then submitted the form. Now, when it comes to these metrics over here, events per session, event count, session key, event rate, kind of a mouthful on that one. This allows us to track actions on our web page. For example, it is possible using Google Analytics 4 and Google Tag Manager who submitted this form and what source they came from. Because right now we just know how much traffic we drove to a page. As you can see here, switching over to that event, I can see that we actually had 7 people from the initial 11 who actually opted in to this form. Now that's something I'm going to be covering in another course, but for right now, let's go ahead and get comfortable with just tracking our data, understanding what information we have in front of us and where our highest traffic sources are coming from.
Hey, it's Dane from the training you just watched. And I want to thank you honestly for getting all the way through the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and even leave a comment on something else you'd like me to cover. Down below in the comments and the description, I have some free resources for you guys to take care of, so just go for it. Business is hard enough. I'm just trying to give as much as possible.